Okay. So 2 weeks ago you got from Alan the coursework specification that you have properly seen, like this. Yeah? Did you all have the time to have a look through this? What's expected? You are expected to write an academic paper, yeah, of no more than 4,000 words, and I think he has capped it with 3,000 words. In my mind, it doesn't really matter, yeah, as long as you bring the points across. Now there are 3 key sections, although it's broken down in a lot more effort, so I recommend you to read this very carefully. Yeah, it's a guide, and it sets as well the general idea. You are first required, this is kind of the basis of the academic essay that you are writing, or academic journal that you are writing, to do the Belbin test. Have you done that?
Yeah.
And you all have a Belbin profile now?
Yeah.
You all know what character you are in the team. Yeah? Okay, so this is a good start. Your academic journal is really threefold. And the easiest way of looking at this, unfortunately the dimensions are not given, is to look at this. This is how we are breaking down the marking criteria. I will give you the grid later on. I upload this. I noticed that Alan hadn't attached that. That must have disappeared from this list, so you just have a very generic grid. But I will give you the detailed grid that we actually use to mark the academic paper at the end. Yeah? So adherence, what does adherence mean?
Sticking to it.
Yeah, sticking to it. So as every academic journal or every publication that is in a journal or book format has normally a particular template to do with formatting, the spacing of the document, the type of writing to use and all that, and so do we. We have actually a template for that. So I have uploaded this today. Yeah, so it's under your module requirements. I will open it quickly. This is a template basically, yeah? And I've given it's all set in the formatting, yeah? So if you copy things in and you leave the copying as original in this formatting, then you will be able to have everything right. Yeah? The adherence is like a present. So it's 5 points without any problems. Then author's forename and surname, this is up to you. In the Belbin we actually encourage you to not put that in. Yeah? In the Belbin you don't actually have to submit the template. That is something that I will remind you again too when it comes to the final submission, that you make sure that everything is in the original template. But it's up to you. If you want to be, oh no wait, it's actually not up to you. Alan has I think specified that for the peer review you have to submit it without your name. Yeah. So that is basically, you know, that there's not this thing where you are. Well, let's think about the worst case. The worst case is that you get a paper of somebody that you don't like, and you're like, oh, I will write tough comments for you or something. No, actually, we want tough comments. That would be actually good. But I don't know. I can't think in this context. But the idea is that it's anonymous. You can't see from whom it is written when you peer review it. But this is the format. Yeah? So you can just leave it as well to the university. We have changed recently. So we are not School of Built and Natural Environment anymore. We are now Faculty of Engineering and Environment. Yeah, so this is the only shift that would have to be done there. And the first section is an abstract. Not everybody knows what an abstract is, so you will notice this whole paper is like a guide. I've just copied it together from different journals or books. There are authors guides. I'm publishing at the moment in Cambridge University Press. They have a guide. I really liked some of the aspects, so it's copied together from a lot of journals and author guides. And when you look at it, there's actually a setting writing the informative abstract. Yeah, we will have a look at that in a second, in a little bit time, to actually come to terms what an abstract is. Yeah? So it's all described here. You can use it as a guide. Once you have understood it, well, you could just print it out once, and then use the document itself to edit your text in that you are writing as an article. Is that clear so far? Yeah, this is the adherence, what it refers to. You will notice something else. Yeah, this is very important. There are spacings. This has to do with printing. Yeah? You will have, from today onwards, as well access to the journals of the past year and the year before. Yeah, it's a booklet. It's a big booklet. It's 1,112 pages last year. Yeah? So actually, you have 8 or 10 pages in front of you from one student. Yeah. So it's quite impressive, but it's a good insight as well. Yeah. So okay. So first section, abstract keywords. Keep it in that formatting, and then the main text starts with introduction, and so forth. And this essay or assignment is at the same time the format that you will write your MSc dissertation in. So it's kind of a dry run for the dissertation writing. Yeah? And I hope that you are so passionate at the end of this degree that you stay engaged in the academic community and write papers about your experience in the industry. Yeah? This is what it's about. Yeah? And I hope I can hook you with this. Yeah? Yeah, anyway, then I have some guidance as well to keywords. Yeah, when you come to your topics that you want to research, that's your topic. This is your paper, so make it yours. Yeah, it's unfortunately quite strongly structured around the given brief. Yeah, so but when we actually come to this, you will see. Sorry, I scroll away from this. This is actually an important thing. So this is kind of given academic authority is how you write. Yeah, when you describe something like for a good team environment, we need motivating aspects for the team to perform well, for example. But then the statement would be strong, yeah, it would be academic authoritative, if you then have so said Herzberg and, for example, Kolben, yeah, well, the theorems that we just covered. Yeah, this would be then our academic authoritative, because the statements, yeah, are basically coming from literature, and you use them in a way to construct the narrative. Does that make sense? Yeah, we actually have a look at that as well. Yeah. Then there's a section where you have to look at the Belbin profile and review it against its applicability in your particular context. Yeah. Does that make sense? So here it's actually important. Alan has specified this. Yeah. You have to do this either on an organizational context from a project that you have been working on, or you can compare it to your educational, employment, social, sporting, voluntary background or experience. Does that make sense? This is for this particular part. Yeah? Sorry, a lot of scrolling, but I hope it makes sense. Yeah.
Can you take multiple experiences, or does it have to be one project?
Yeah. No, you can use multiple, you can use one, you can use a half. If you just want to look at the particular, how do we start a good project team? Yeah? How do we look at the forming, for example, yeah? From the forming, storming, norming, performing. That's one, yeah. So you could just look at one aspect from this. Yeah, just look at the start from an experience. Yeah? How was the feeling actually coming together in the project management team? Yeah? How would a good start of this actually look like? This is quite all right as well. Does that make sense? But it would be still one experience if you want. Right? So again, case studies, multiple, one. Can be observation, can be, you can as well research it, yeah, and compare to other case studies that are in the literature, quite alright. Yeah? You can have as well a look, yeah, through the journals that are uploaded. There are different case examples actually in the papers that you have in front of you. There are already a few different ones. Yeah? Now the key is, and Alan has linked that back, and so have I. Those are our dominant keywords. this semester. Yeah, for team, we have broken it up in team dynamics and organizational practice, but I'm not really insisting on organizational practice, for example. So it's cooperation and competition, communication, conflict, power and social influence, culture and diversity, decision making, and then on the other side, project organization, organizational learning, competency, capability development, technology adaptation, and governance. Those are mine. But this is an orientation. Yeah? We have already framed it kind of with a, reviewing the Balban test, and then you have to review as well the dynamics. So in my mind, this is actually enough already. Yeah? So treat it as you at your liking. Yeah? So, but what you have to do is really Balban review this in the role either your own experience, or you create like a scenario from school or from past project that you worked on, and then you have to go into team dynamics and review that. Yeah, what team dynamics have you come across? What were there? And then you have to review as well organizational practice. Yeah, and this is all case specific, or where you draw certain elements out. This is actually quite tough. It's quite structured. And then a separate task is to actually have underpinning theory to each section of those. Does that make sense? Yeah. So the three key sections are really Balban SPI review, team dynamics review, organizational practice review, then theoretically underpinned. Yeah, you look into the literature, academic journals, books, papers, maybe other sources that you want to use. And you review all three of them. And then the conclusions, yeah, and academic authority is implicit in this. Does that make sense? Yeah? And the adherence, of course, as well. Means you have used the right document type. And then you have 100%. Right? It's not too bad, is it? Okay. So to explain maybe another thing that Alan has mentioned briefly, Thursday the 11th, do you know which week this is? Is this when we have lectures? Well, we just tried to figure that out earlier. I think it's the first week when we are still in Easter holidays. It's the first, last...
He said the peer review bit was in the Easter holidays, but I don't know.
I think das
I think it's the 29th.
the Easter break.
No, I don't know when the Easter break is, but I think it's the week
I have to admit, in your times, I was always very aware of when holidays are, but let's do this the other way around. Wait, it's this one. Oh no, it didn't. Oh, this looks great, isn't it? Once I synchronize with Google, it will be again, unfortunately, polluted. But yeah, so this is the Easter holidays, otherwise it wouldn't be that empty. Yeah. So it's literally the last week of Easter break. Does that make sense? We have a 3-week break, yeah? And this is when you have to submit. You have to submit it on the 11th. Don't miss that deadline. It throws the whole system. You won't be able to do a peer review then. Basically, you get as well a penalty. Yeah? I think Alan has emphasized it. It's a problem where we have to set a computer system up, and it doesn't really allow for delays or anything. So on the 11th, you want to have your paper written, yeah, completely. And I would kind of encourage you to start now. Yeah, you have the template and everything. You can do your literature review. Today I give you a paper for reading. I have a hard copy for you, but this is where the e-learning portal. I will copy it over from Alan's folder from last week. And I want you to review the literature to it, because it refers directly to today's topic. Yeah, and it's even more cool, it's written by Alex and me, so you can actually try to apply what we go through in a second, how to criticize a paper, and be very critical of our paper. Yeah? So anyway, 11th of April, you submit a full paper, yeah, an academic essay if you want, with an abstract that you would want to submit to journal paper, yeah, where you have done exactly the points as bespoke. Then you have time to do the peer review. Yeah? And the peer reviews, it's a little bit tricky. Alan is actually quite specific here. Peer reviews, all students must review. Oh, wait a minute. There was a great opportunity. You missed your paper here. With the peer reviews, we arrive at different notion. Last year I didn't really want any marks given, but this year it's actually encouraged. So all students must review 2 draft papers. So you will peer review 2 papers. This means as well, this is a great advantage. You get from 2 independent reviewers feedback on your paper. And you have time to consider the feedback and then alterate your paper to make 100%. This is of course what we all want. Yeah? Ironically, we are all after the same thing, 100% in your paper. Yeah? And this time with of course the feedback from your peers. So this is very strong. Yeah? It's administered by Turnitin, so you will have to give the feedback as well there. Yeah, this is a little bit the drawback, or it's not really a drawback, but it limits or ties you to the system. The 2 draft papers will be randomly assigned. That is as well as something, yeah? So you have to be aware of the area. You want to critically read it. And the detailed instruction explain how to complete this task will be communicated to the students via the EBL course, and this is me. Yeah. So this is we have been discussing now. How we are going to do this. Does that make sense? Yeah. Okay. So then the slightly daunting part is a 10% penalty of the mark awarded for summative assessment of the final paper will be imposed upon any student failing to submit their draft paper for peer review and or failing to submit feedback for 2 draft papers submitted by their peers within the stipulated time frame. Does that make sense? As an author, I would try to avoid to submit like a half-hearted paper where everything is missing, or that is not yet completed, because then you make it very simple for the reviewer. It's just like paper is not completed, everything is missing. Yeah. So to avoid this, yeah, I would really recommend to aim at a full submission. Yeah? And then you basically submit the final paper to turn it in, and this is what we are going to mark, yeah? Alan and I. Any questions at that point? Okay, here is how I want you to mark the peer review. Now, I wish we would do that in reality. In reality, you would be surprised what comments we get. Actually, I show you. Wait a minute. This is a little bit out of the hip, but it's a very true thing. So I thought I bring it quickly up because I have been just heartbroken about my last paper. So I want you to show what not to do. Yeah, because it destroys sleepless nights. I can tell you. Yeah, it grinds on you. So anyway, here we go. That's one. Oh, it's PDFs. This is pretty bad. Okay, never mind. Oh, this is really a pity, actually. We have it nearly. I'm pretty sure there is. Oh, here. This is kind of the comments that you don't want. Yeah. Reviewer comment. The method, okay, they have used more fancy terms. The method, device, paradigm the author proposes clearly wrong. Yeah, this doesn't really help. This is just creating like opposing views. Does that make sense? Yeah. So you read through the paper and you disagree with the theory. You cannot just say this. Yeah, this is very bad. As an author, we feel heartbroken. We have spent time on writing these 10 pages. Yeah, and we have thought about it. Okay, this tells you how to not, in proper journal papers, we have then to respond and do the editing, or when we not do the editing, we must have really good reasons. So this is how it's not supposed to be. But never mind, you won't have to do this. Yeah, but this would be, for example, a comment. Yeah, and this is a wrong comment. Yeah, that doesn't really create any input. Yeah, and I suppose for more entertainment, the authors failed to reference the work of Smith et al., who solved the same problem 20 years ago. This is normally, ironically, Smith is probably reviewing this in reality. Yeah? Anyway. And then the last, this paper is poorly written and scientifically unsound. I do not recommend it for publication. Yeah, so this is, so don't do this. And in other words, yeah, this is very important to recognize. So let's think about how we can actually proactively arrive at good feedback. Yeah? I give you 3 opportunities of how you can review those papers. Number 1, more of this. This is brilliant. Yeah? You will have like one color chart where you can take the text and like mark it. I'll show you. So like a little bit like what we have in Word. Yeah, it's something like this. And then you click on left, and instead of copy, then there comes an option of 3 color schemes. Yeah, then you can write a comment beneath. This is basically how it will appear. And then first of all, you have to decide, is it, I want more of this? I haven't yet decided how I will take, I think I want more of this. This is good. Yeah, this is exactly how the paper should be written in my mind. Second, this needs changing. Third, delete it. This needs to go. This is bad. Yeah? It's not written, this is bad. Yeah? This is just delete it. Yeah? And then you have like comment sections, and I want you to constructively suppose an alternative, or give a few options. Yeah. So if this needs changing, yeah, say like you haven't got a reference here. This just reads like your opinion. This is not academically sound. You will lose points on the, yeah. So for example, Smith and so said this. If you know the reference. If you don't know the reference, then try to maybe give suggestion how they could alter it. Yeah. Describe it in more detail. Link it to theory. Yeah? So descriptions or summaries in your own words don't need referencing, but if you make a statement, yeah, from a certain theory, Herzberg theory is wrong, yeah, then I want the reference behind it, Herzberg. Yeah? Does that make sense? Yeah? So it's that simple. Any questions at that point? Yeah?
In terms of references, can we use really old references or like Herzberg, for instance?
Yeah, Herzberg is rather old. Yeah, I don't even mind if you use Plato, but I can tell you one thing, but it's difficult to read. Yeah,
no, that's just like a general question because Herzberg is really old. So is it alright to use?
You will see.
Would it be valid enough? Or?
Yeah, this is a question. With validity. I can tell you one thing. As an academic, if you're not very confident, and a lot of academics are very confident, I can tell you that a little bit too much confident sometimes. Yeah. But what it comes to is, if you're not confident in your area, to be safe, you just take the recent publications. But, and here's a but, if you're a little bit more confident and you have read all this historic stuff, and you have now a historic reference that exactly discussed it, yeah, at the moment I think it's often underrated, yeah, but Schumpeter summarized 1932, yeah, already really valid things of strategic management at the moment, yeah, that a lot of our current literature doesn't look into, yeah, so anyway. But if you have a concept that really makes a point, then use this, of course.
And we could probably support it with a very recent similar view or something.
Yeah, so you think already now on the fine grid, yeah, so theoretical underpinning, you are aiming at the 100, I can see this, yeah. It's very good, yeah, you can do this. You don't have to go in ancient literature, you can stay as well in the current here and now, yeah. And you will see a lot of the theories that we covered, for example, motivation today, those are kind of the ground theories. This is where it started to think about motivation. Now, they are not what we are discussing at the moment. This is a paper that I have given you. There we are discussing current theories, yeah, and current concepts. Sorry, not the one that you have in front of you that you get later. Yeah? That is, if you want the reading for home, yeah, and doing a little literature summary. And what are the key concepts that they are suggesting? Well, that we are suggesting. Yeah. Yeah. So I would probably give that answer that way. Yeah. Any more questions in that direction? Sometimes it's difficult to find explicit literature on what you want to discuss. Yeah, so for example, the Belbin review on your own situation, context, may not be reflected in literature. Then go for parallel literature, where they either talk about a similar context, yeah, with as well individualized concepts. Yeah, so you have to read them a little bit around that. Does that make sense? Yeah, so you would look, for example, applicability of Belbin, for example, as keywords. Yeah? Then you get like how people have compared it, but you may have compared it differently. Yeah? Then you want to say like, oh, actually not many have reviewed it. Actually, Belbin is kind of very well reviewed. So this is maybe a bad example. Yeah, but if you come to, for example, technology adaptation, this is actually pretty new stuff. We have this at the moment. This is very art vogue. Yeah, knowledge transfers. We do it around the world. We haven't really understood what we're doing, but we're doing it a lot. Yeah, and this is very cool stuff in terms of research as well. And so if you're going for something like that, you will see there's only limited literature on it. Yeah. Okay, does that make sense so far? Okay, in this case, you all have a paper. Can I just see who has innovation? 1, 2, 3. Okay, super. A big group of innovation. Who goes for construction leaders? Oh, this is a minority. Okay, so I will read that as well with critical. No, we have 2 more, right? You have construction, the construction leadership paper.
Development.
No, which one?
Software development.
Yeah, okay, that was the last option. Yeah, the software development. Super. Okay. So we have quite a good group. The what I want you to do first is read through the paper. Yeah, and I don't want you to read the whole paper. Don't panic. Yeah. Here's a term. I just learned this 2 years ago. Before that, I didn't even know that is an option. What is scanning a paper?
Reading the key points is the most important.
Yeah, I did like this, yeah. Good, yeah, reading the, for what?
The key points, mostly like the key, getting a gist of the paper basically. Like not properly reading it or critically reading it.
Is this really a term? I couldn't believe this. I shouldn't say this on camera, but this was new to me. But a colleague explained to me this is really a practice of reading that has been taught apparently, and I didn't know this is an option. We don't have that in Germany, unfortunately. I was introduced to this here. Yeah. So, but anyway, so there's skimming and scanning. Yeah, and skimming is when you're looking for certain keywords. Yeah, you look through a section and you kind of look what is it about. So what are the big keywords? And then scanning is you have a particular set of information in your mind. Yeah? You're looking, for example, for knowledge management. Yeah? Then you look through the pages with this keyword or key piece of information, and you scan basically for sections that are about this. Yeah? Apparently that is a divide. There you go. So this is what we are after now. We are after scanning the paper, yeah? And you can start wherever you want. I want to basically arrive, let's get concrete about the categories. You want to highlight a section, more of this. Yeah, so you highlight the section and then write, I want more of that. So the sections that you highlight that way is the ones that are very clear or academically sound. Yeah, where you say like, okay, here they are telling me something. Yeah? Then second category, this has to change. There may be logical mistakes, or the sentence is too long, or I don't know, it's just random, it doesn't make sense. Yeah? Okay, and then the worst one is this needs deleting. Yeah, there is a claim, and then the following sentence doesn't relate to the claim, it's on a different planet. Or the sentence isn't even understandable. Yeah? Or what is worse? A quote without reference. That is very bad. Although I wouldn't delete that, I would just say reference. But yeah. Okay. Yeah. Anyway, but I want you to take some time. Yeah. So how long do we take? We take 10 minutes, yeah? Just go through it and try to find at least one a section per category. Yeah? And then we go around and have a look what we actually arrive at. Is this clear? Yeah? So you have 3 categories, and then you want to find for each category one text section. And when you read through it, think as well what the marks may be like. The papers that you have is either just pass, very decent commendation, or absolute excellent, outstanding. That is the marks that it gave for the 3 that were given for the 3 papers. Yeah, let's go quickly through it. What did you come up with? Maybe on the good side. So state quickly which paper it is, but be pragmatic about it. Yeah. So we have team, then we have innovation, and then we have leadership. Yeah. So those are our 3 papers. So just decide which one, and then read. First of all, tell us which category. Yeah, and then read the section. And I suppose we start with a positive to warm our hearts a little bit about how well we can do. Yeah. So do you have any good sections? If you have only deletes, then you have missed the point. Yeah, just to give it away from the beginning. It's too harsh. Don't be so
On
harsh.
the
to-
construction one, aside from loads of spelling mistakes and grammatical stuff, the abstract's quite okay. It's quite good, the abstract.
Oh, you have assessed the whole paper.
Well, no, just I looked at the abstract though, just
Okay.
as a key sort of idea as to the rest of it.
Yeah.
It's pretty
So abstract is pretty decent, yeah. So more offset.
good. Well, yeah, but
This is a
you
type
can
of
make more,
writing,
but
yeah?
yeah.
Okay. Very good. And anything other good?
I think the managing knowledge is like innovation. Make clear the key points of the different, the different ideas that he developed in
Yeah,
the
very good.
paper.
So do you have particular ideas highlighted or?
Yeah, for example, he explained in which categories he can simplify, for example, one of the concepts. He categorized some of the concepts in different key points.
And this was really good, yeah. So you have highlighted more of that.
Yeah.
Okay, very good.
Team innovation. There was a point that the author brought into the essay. It was good, but I wouldn't say more of that. But the poem was able to give us, an introduction into human resource management. The poem was good from Archibald. I wouldn't say that.
So how have they written it? Have you as well highlighted the section then, yeah? Or
Yeah.
well, which section is this? What example do you have there?
It's the poem, he's talking about the
The
poem. and
poem. There's a poem that the author used, and I think it's very good.
Okay.
Yeah.
So using a poem basically as a metaphor, yeah? Okay, very good.
For software development, I really like that there is a this chronological link. Before ending one section, it makes kind of intro to the next. So you all kind of know that what you will be reading in the next paragraph.
So it's logically linking it, especially if you have different concepts. Very difficult to do, but very well done, yeah? So yeah, very good.
The subtitle gives a good
The team.
it's forward again, so it's very balanced.
Okay. So the author, yeah, in the team assignment, yeah, goes for pros and cons. So he really shows like both sides. That is very difficult to do often. Yeah, but very well done, yeah. Okay. Any more good ones? Yeah.
Rules of leadership in construction. The introduction is good. The journal is able to identify the key points, which is that the journal is related to construction, and he cited the different definition of different writers, authors, and then there is a clear distinction between his thoughts and what has been proved by researchers.
But so you have as well done the whole assessment of the paper, and I like that. Yeah. But in terms of what part would you have highlighted as good? So would you have highlighted the whole introduction as how he sets the scene and how he links it, or where would you draw the border there?
The introduction, the linkage, and the overview of what actually leadership within construction is.
Okay. So he makes really the link between leadership and construction, and how that fits together and why it's important. Yeah.
Exactly.
Okay. Very good. Okay, let's switch from the good to what needs changing. Where did you have a section where you were like, oh, I'm not sure about this, I think this needs changing? Yeah?
In this positive effect of collating, co-locating project teams, the software one, the language is, it sometimes goes really informal, which
In what
needs
way?
changing.
So you criticizing here the academic authority.
Yes.
Yeah, it's out of the window.
Yes, like not completely out of the window, but like in the introduction, the last paragraph, he talks about he states the author states a couple of benefits of the last paragraph, and then the author suddenly goes and says, so there are a number of social factors, and so the language is not very appropriate, I think.
So this
Yes,
needs
yes,
changing,
yes,
yeah?
yes,
So
that
you
needs
would
changing.
highlight this,
Yes, I've
and
highlighted
then
it, so.
formal language. You are missing out on your academic authority here.
Mhm.
Yeah? Okay, yeah, very good.
I would also highlight, this is for innovation, the writing style as well. At certain points in the paper, the author is writing as if he's talking to you. So it's,
So again,
that-
shortage on academic authority, yeah?
yes. It was good that the author expresses exactly what the paper is going to be looking at in the introductory section, but then on the knowledge management bit, I feel that it needs more academic backing. It's very descriptive in its approach on the knowledge management section. It's just telling us what this company does, but then not linking it to
The
enough.
concepts.
It's like one reference here, and I don't think that you finding just one reference for the style is sufficient. I think
So
maybe
you would want to
more-
have more theoretical underpinning
yeah,
in
for
that
that
section?
section. not
Okay,
kind
okay.
of-
Yeah.
I've kind of noticed something similar in the software paper. Although there is enough theoretical underpinning for most of the sections, some of it is very repetitive. Like some of the materials, some of the resources, some of the literature used is very repetitive. Like there's some references which are repeating over and over again, and that might require more theoretical underpinning, because you can't
So-
just rely on one theory given by one or two individuals. You know, you need more research.
I would be kind to each other. Yeah, be aware you're giving each other feedback. You know, finding actually an underpinning theory is often an art in itself. And this will be very difficult. You will notice this when you start
Yes.
reading a literature review. Yeah, so don't be too harsh and expect that it's straight away comparable to the academic papers. But you see here that they are actually quite high standard. Yeah? So what you're criticizing here is already kind of a very elitist, that it's not consistently academic authority. Yeah? This is quite impressive in that way. Yeah? And that, you know, with the theories you say like, I want a little bit more. What do the other theories say? Yeah? So this is already on the better side. Yeah? But very well spotted. Yeah? Well, what about other things that you may want to change?
Yeah. With the innovation paper, there's inconsistency with the in-text citation. You know, you don't need to bring the page number when you are not giving a direct quotation, but we realize that he sometimes gives the page number of a reference when it's not necessary.
Okay, when it's not a quotation.
Yeah, so it's not very necessary when you are using Northumbria Harvard, which will be used with markers. So if you don't adhere strictly to the referencing style, it might affect your marks.
Yeah. So when you have a quotation from a reference, yeah, then you want to have actually the page number. If you just summarize or describe something in your own words, then you the page number is not required. Yeah? That's a very good point. So this needs changing. Yeah? Or actually, you could just highlight the number and say this needs deleting. Yeah? But okay, this is now technical on the peer review. But it was a good point. Yeah, very well spotted. But maybe anything else for changing?
The knowledge construction one. I think the title is changing because after the introduction and a brief a tiny bit more, it doesn't really talk about the construction industry at all.
Yeah, very well spotted. Yeah, in reality, that student got a lot of feedback, unfortunately, about where he needs to refer to certain construction examples. But in reality, the quick answer would have been just delete construction, and you will be fine.
Yeah.
Yeah, because he goes in very general theorems. In construction, we have very specific construction theorems. That's the same like defense sector, yeah, or aerospace. We have very specific leadership theorems. So if you are looking at industries like that, be aware. Yeah, they are very specific often, and there's a lot written about it. Okay. Now the heartbreaking thing. Do you have any deleting? This needs deleting. This is quite tough, to be fair, because they have been all peer-reviewed. So I didn't think that we would have that many, but
I think they're for the exact same reason as I was saying, because it goes off construction leadership. If you're not going to change the title, there are a couple of sections that could perhaps be deleted, because then if you want to stick with construction, they're not relevant.
you didn't like Steve Jobs then, yeah?
Yeah, he doesn't see. I mean, he's I think they mentioned him 3 times, and maybe it's one quick reference, okay, but it's not relevant at all. And how to deal with conflict is leadership in construction. It doesn't mention construction words.
So it's not who you would expect as a typical leader in construction.
Not really. No, I can't imagine him with a hard hat on.
Okay. So another important notion: don't surprise the reader too much. Especially if we are looking for particular themes. Anything else to delete, maybe? No? Happy? There wasn't much more. To be fair, it has been peer-reviewed. Yeah? This is actually pretty decent standard. So can I just ask? Who feels that their paper was just pass? Can I just ask that? Can we start? Sorry. Can we just start with the innovation people? Who of innovation believes that theirs is just a pass? Of innovation, just a pass?
I think innovation would be between 60 and 65.
Is that the innovation one? Yeah, it is. So you would give it just a pass? Okay.
Yes, because
Don't write the marks down in the peer review. I don't want marks in the peer review. Yeah, just keep to the But
yeah, it's maybe a very personal opinion, but
No,
I have
that's quite alright.
difficulty to read through it and to actually understand the essence of the thing. So that's why. And there was a lot of referencing and sometimes not referencing at all. A lot of comments made that just.
He goes in really big concepts. You're quite right there. And doesn't link them back, so there are gaps certainly. But the innovation one is not the low one. Yeah? Okay, who thinks that the software one is the low one? Team management is the low one. Yeah.
Software.
Do you have the software
Yeah,
paper?
I think it should be about 60.
You have the software paper, yeah? So
About
software, where would you put
About
this?
60.
Who thinks it's a fail? Or close to fail?
No.
60.
Yeah, it's
Yeah. Okay. Can I just ask the construction people, who thinks it's close to fail? Oh, they were only, no wait, you had this one. So you think it's better? Yeah. Okay. Yeah, the construction one was 52. Yeah. And it was marked up because we had like this agreement in the SX, when we mark it, there are always 2 people marking your papers. So we had a disagreement, so we always go then for the better one. Yeah. This is how it works. So this was 52, construction. Yeah, you can, by the way, you have them all in your journal if you're curious now about it. So where do you think, the other one was higher accommodation, yeah, it was 69 and then rounded up to 70.
Which one was that?
One. And the other one was 87.
Which one? Which one was that?
Yeah, exactly, this is a question. So this is the 2 categories that we have now. So let's do the pool. Where do you think let's start with the innovation. Where was innovation? Innovation, better or worse?
We can't say because we don't.
We haven't read the paper.
Exactly. But where would you put it? What mark would you give it?
Better.
Better. You're using 87.
Yeah.
I agree with her view on this innovation. Just for instance, all of the human resources where the writer cited a poem or whatever. The assignment says critical, they say critical appraisal. I think at this level, even when you reference, as in when you make a reference to a work, the writer needs to bring in his or her own stand as on underpinning the literature he or she is referencing to. Like here, where she referenced, as she was writing about human resources, and she brought in this poem. She just ended it, he or she just ended it there, without no reference. The work did not live. For me, it's cut and join. She will write, he or she will write, I don't really know how to. Just like she referenced Archibald, and didn't say anything about it, before jumping to another paragraph. For me, I'm expecting to see how it relates.
I'm curious too.
Yes.
It's a powerful, it's a powerful poem, it's a powerful tool.
The key, of course, with concepts like this.
And this happens lots of places.
Yeah, you have a very valid point here. Yeah, it draws over long sections. Yeah, it doesn't make the key points. Yeah, but in academia, some of the concepts are actually quite long. Yeah, so she or he. Sure, I don't really know what it is. But anyway, this paper was actually pretty good, I have to say. And the concept summarized, so do it better. I just encourage you. But be very careful, because I need here. Can we practice a little bit our listening skills? Can we practice a little bit our listening skills? Because this is very important. Critical doesn't mean that you just write an opinion down. It has to be justified in theorems. If you have the theorems and you describe the context, then you can be critical. And then you make the point. This is not very critical. You're quite right. But you have to keep in mind that person is actually working at this company. So you don't want to make it too harsh when you circulate afterwards the journal in your company. Hey, look my article that I wrote. This is what we are doing. It's your journal afterwards. So I suppose there was a conscious notion as well of just hinting it. So if you want to make a very critical point, do this in your paper. But make sure that you have the literature to make the point, and as well you describe the situation that the reader arrives at too, that they can see the point. Because this is another danger when you are overcritical, but it's difficult for the reader to see where the points come from. That is just a polemic essay. It's very good too, I like it, but fortunately you would get not so good marks for it, for the theoretical underpinning. Okay, very good. I conclude quickly. The managing innovation was really the worst one, but it was still 70% at the end, or 69, higher commendation. And I've picked those as well for another reason. The best English, if you actually look at the presentation, as a supposed academic authority, the best English was actually from the sentence structure, if you read all three in comparison, in the leadership one, the construction leadership. And the worst grammar of all three was potentially in the highest distinction one, because he writes very long sentences. Occasionally grammar gets completely twisted around, but he gets the concepts right, and the understanding comes across. So this was just excellent, and he has used as well a lot of concepts and has a sound literature.
I think where the software person got it right is the use of the case studies to support this our work. But it's actually used in the introduction and the initial theories. But the use of case study helped the work. Apparently, it didn't have so much reference.
Yeah,
The-
repetitive referencing.
Yeah, but again, he used the references, and this is the thing. This is a very difficult thing. He explains the concept very well. Yeah, and relate. Have a look how it's voted. Yeah, or evaluated. In the past, this was actually not there. There was instead literature, practice, and then the comparison of literature and practice. Yeah, we kind of have that still. And then I had another on grammar. Yeah, but it was as well minor. So when you look at this, you get most of the points, theoretical underpinning and organizational practice. Yeah, organizational practice and describing it soundly is 25%. So overall mark. And then 20 for underpinning this. So if you make that link, you are already in a very high grade.
Also, the paper was very well structured. Like this paper was well structured. It was organized, and you know it was kind of linked. So that was one of the probably where the person gained marks. Although I do not agree with how in the discussion the author just makes a statement and does not support it, like the first statement.
In the conclusion.
Yeah, in the discussion.
Okay.
The author concludes something but does not really support it. Like the conclusion of the case studies, if you see, is different from the main discussion. And in the discussion, he hasn't really spoken about what he's concluded. So I think that's how it should, like when he's just made a very random statement, and he's kind of left it there and gone ahead, like with his, then it starts linking back to the paper again.
Okay, so this is maybe critical homework for everybody, yeah? Reading the 3 papers in comparison to actually see where you arrive with it. So as I'm saying, the one was from an overseas student in Malta, yeah, who wrote this paper, and no, Cyprus, and that was the one that got the highest mark, yeah, so the software one, and the other ones were all in the range 2. The average normally with a peer review done well, yeah, upgrades it a lot. So I expect very good marks from you guys. Yeah, so please don't disappoint me. This is very important. Yeah. What's new this year is, and this is what you won't have in there, is the Belbin and the team dynamics review. Yeah, this is not done in this paper. So don't just go with the style. Yeah. Oh. Okay. The other important part that I wanted to show you, in this, I have given you as well how to write indirectly everything. I've given you as well a guide of what is really bad practice, because I read it a lot. So this is actually coming from when you come to the abstract that you pointed out being good, is because they stuck basically to that structure. If you have like to each of these points, like 1 or 2 sentences in the abstract will naturally read very well. Yeah, because this is what you're looking for in the abstract. Yeah, but I explain all the sections. And then for entertainment, yeah, this is slightly geeky. It comes from the construction management, construction economics and management journal. They have done a spoof on this, how not to write your abstract or not to write your paper. Yeah, so I and we, yeah, those are the terms that you want to avoid. Then it is believed that, or suggested that it's always like an authority thing that you should maybe try to reduce. And they have written you in the end a paper of sentences that you can just delete straight away. This paper discusses research that was undertaken in the author's country. A theoretical framework is developed from literature search and is used by the authors as a basis of an analytical model. So you get the idea. You will all do this, but you will have to write what it actually is, name the things, instead of writing the hidden structure. Okay, this will be uploaded, yeah? This is there as a template. Start working on your paper. Don't leave it to the last second. Very important. At this point, you should be able to do your literature review, and with the review of a paper that you will have uploaded as well in e-form, but I have the hard copies here for you too. It's it appears to be a 16-pager, but it's not. It's only 10 pages, because it's widely printed for a journal that we have just submitted it to. It's a paper from Alex, myself, and a colleague from Weyer University. And we have done a review of a commercial interface with academic literature. And it's a paper managing geographically dispersed teams from temporary to permanent global virtual teams. Yeah? I want you to review this paper and send me a summary of the concepts. Yeah? I have written this as well down in the folder, but again, yeah, I want you to email me a summary of the concept. It's kind of what we're concluding, yeah? But just very brief. I did get a lot of emails. Some of the emails where it went wrong or where there was insecurity, I answered actually, yeah? Or when I say insecurity, what do I mean? If it was written like, I believe and I'm not really sure about it, yeah, then I normally replied. If you emailed me and it was fine and I didn't email you, then it was fine, yeah? Then you were at the right standard. If I emailed back, yeah, and had criticism, then I would suggest, to rethink a little bit your style. That's formative feedback. If you haven't emailed me, do it with this one. Yeah, that you get some feedback, that you know if you're on the right track or not. Does that make sense? Yeah. You use those mechanisms. Don't leave it to the last second, because then it can be very overwhelming. It's a lot of stuff.
We're reviewing
Yeah.
this paper, so it's not just a summary of the concepts that we're sending.
Yeah, like I will read through, and there are concepts summarized. And actually, don't be too harsh with us. Yeah, you can train this while you're assessing skills. Yeah, but we just got a review as well. So in a way, yeah, have a look where the concepts are. Some are explained in detail in the text, of course, but the conclusion summarizes all of them if you want. Okay, so take one paper. Yeah, it's 8 pages, I think. And yeah, that would be it for today. If you want hard copies of Managing Innovation, anybody keen? Oh, that was quick. I have only one. I give it away.
When do we have to send you the summary?
Within the next 2 weeks, but if you can this week, yeah, so this teaching, so till next Thursday.
Okay.
And I have one positive effect of the distinctive paper. Oh, okay, you were very quick there. Yeah, sorry, what was the question?
Thank you.
Yes. Wow, this is very good.
Yes, señor. Señor. No, señor.
You can decide.
Yeah, so it sort of says like you're aiming to make a statement.
This is just abstract, how to run information. So this is what you do at the end. You write the abstract. Yeah. So how did you come to this? Was it like your observation? Your observation? Or do you study from a company, secondary, from literature? Or have you interviewed somebody? Or is it?
I was thinking that you just have to sort of discuss the validity.
This is a first stage, but as I was highlighting, this is only 50%. Don't miss out on team dynamics and on the organizational partners. There you can take more.
So then you have to make,
Robert,
you have to claim
you are still recording?
Yeah, I'm still recording. Yeah, go for it.